What's going on, y'all? What it is? So let's go ahead and slide on this unfortunate topic, and I want to talk about the passing of Sonya Massey. Now, I'm pretty sure that most of you guys who could stomach to watch the video have seen it already. It's very horrific to watch. If you haven't seen it, I will attach the link within the comments so you guys can go and watch it if you want to. If you can't take seeing things like that, then I advise you not to watch this video because it's so disheartening and so sick at the same time, and it really has me fired up. Now, Sonya resided in Springfield, Illinois, which is like 200 miles south of Chicago, and basically she made a call to the police on July 6th asking for their assistance because she thought that there was an intruder trying to get into her house. Now, when the POs got there, of course, Sonya came to the door. They asked for her identification because there was some suspicious activity going on based off of her report, and they was just trying to scope out the scene before they entered the home. But they ended up following her within the home, and they watched her as she looked for her identification. Now, upon Sonya looking for her ID, PO Sean Grayson sees a hot boiling pot of water on the stove, and he basically tells Sonya, hey, listen, we don't need a fire while we're here. So Sonya proceeds to walk to the stove to remove the hot boiling pot of water, and all of a sudden it seems as though Sonya didn't feel good energy coming from the PO, and basically she started rebuking him. So when she picked up the pot of water, the PO went into this thing and he was like, you better not, and he draws out his gat and he shouts, drop the pot. Now, mind you, Sonya was not a threat to the PO with that hot boiling pot of water. He tried to make it seem as though she was a threat so it could justify his actions to do something that he's been waiting to do for a very long time. And by looking at him and taking a look at this melanated woman, we know what that is. Now, Sonya ends up dropping the pot of water, and basically she wasn't aiming it at the PO anyway. I believe she dropped it as soon as she saw that the PO reached for his gat, and she apologized and said, I'm sorry. So even though she said, I'm sorry, he decided to go ahead and put 3 in her, and one of those slugs ended up being parked in Sonya's upper garage, if you know what I mean. Now, PO Sean Grayson is responsible for deleting Sonya, and basically he's been charged with further, and I'm paraphrasing there, you know what it is, right? And from the looks of things and given his history, Sean should have never been a PO in the first place. So what I want to do right here is play you guys some clips of people reacting to this, and then I'll be back.
I'm not going to show the police video of a law enforcement officer Sonya Massey in her own home, but you need to know her name and you need to see her face and recognize who she is. She called 911 because she suspected a prowler was about the premises. Police came into her home and then shot and killed her point blank. And if you do watch the video, you find that when she answers the door, the first thing she says is, "Don't hurt me." And the police officers respond, "Why would we hurt you? You called us." And despite that, minutes later, she said, "I'm sorry," as a law enforcement officer pulled out his firearm for no reason whatsoever and shot her point blank. The shooter and killer was a 30-year-old cop named Sean Grayson. Sean Grayson had a history of DUIs in 2015 and 2016. Moreover, he had worked at 6 different law enforcement agencies in the last 4 years without facing any sort of accountability whatsoever. In fact, his police license was suspended, and still he was on the force responding to calls and empowered to use lethal force against an innocent, unarmed black woman who only called for her own safety. This is why I've long argued for passing the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act to end qualified immunity. There is no legal or constitutional reason to have qualified immunity. This is made up by courts to protect law enforcement from any sort of meaningful accountability when they commit horrific acts like this. Sean Grayson is pleading not guilty. If found guilty of first-degree murder, he faces 45 years in prison. Sonya Massey was only 36 years old. She leaves behind 2 beautiful children, sending my deepest love and prayers to her entire family for this horrific, preventable loss.
Police radio traffic I obtained from the night of Sonya Massey's murder shows that someone on scene that night, what sounds like a deputy, saying that her wound was, quote, self-inflicted. Listen here.
Just confirm self-inflicted. 2 on out. Copy County's update. I didn't. Self-inflicted. Okay, thank you.
Now, this is in line with what the family says was an attempted cover-up, because on the night of her death, family was told by deputies at the hospital that Sonya's wound was self-inflicted, that she had killed herself, or that maybe an intruder had actually killed her. But at no point was the family told that a deputy was responsible for killing Sonya Massey.
I just watched a full body cam footage of Sonya Massey, and the crazy thing is that she knew. The second he stepped foot on her porch, she knew, and she knew something was weird energetically, spiritually about that man. Like, she knew that there was demons attached to that man, and she could feel it. That's why she was constantly asking, like, God, help, I need help. And he's like, what do you need help with? And she's like, I don't know, but like, God, help me, like, help me. She knew. And what I can't understand is why they went back in her house. Like, they had already searched around her house and searched everything, and they went back in her house demanding for identification. Like, they were leaving. Why did they ever need to come back? And I truly think it's because of the demonic attachments that that guy has to him, because he felt he needed to go back. She was talking about God, asking for help. He went back. And then in the end, he calls her, after he killed her, a shot to the head, killed her, and says, that crazy B word, says she rebukes me in the name of Jesus. She's crazy. She's crazy because she tells you she rebukes you, so you shoot her and then say she doesn't need help, even though she was still breathing. He says there's no need for him to get the media kit. Like, let her bleed out. What? I cannot imagine how this family feels, but honestly, I mean, she called on the Lord multiple times before, and I think that's great, and she called him out. She made sure to call him out, and I think that's very powerful, but it's very sad how her life was ended.
Hi, you guys. So, sorry. Oof. I know that this is a very unglamorous video, but I just saw the video of Sonya, and my heart goes out to her family. I am literally shaking right now because to see how someone's life can be taken in such a way is so terrible and so disgusting. When is this going to stop? I'm sorry. I saw many people talk about influencers and how people need to say something. And here I am. You all know how passionate I am about my community and my people. And to have a young black boy who is tall, who is black, and I guess what I'm saying is I worry. I worry. And now I'm going to have another conversation with him about being careful. When is this going to stop? When is enough enough?
All right, so you guys just heard all of that, and it's just very disturbing, to say the least. It's just a repetitive thing that happens within this country. You have to watch yourself if you're a person that is melanated, and you have to govern yourself accordingly, or something can happen like this. And even if you govern yourself accordingly, it can still happen, just like we've seen in this case. So let's just keep it all the way 100. I just really feel so sorry for her family, and I send my condolences to her entire family. And in particular, I want to send some encouragement to Mr. James Wilburn, which is Sonya Massey's father. That man is completely broken by all of this, and rightfully so. But I will say, not to get too political, we know that these types of things happen to people that look like me all the time, but you can never, ever, ever count it out. And you can always put your bottom dollar on it, or your last dollar on it. Something like this is going to occur right before election time. I'm telling you right now. It always happens. So anyway, guys, I want to try to transition off of this terrible story, this horrific story, and I want to talk about Diddy, because Diddy's former security guard, Gene Deal, is saying that someone within his camp basically got interviewed by the feds, and Gene Deal gives some insight, and I would call it a bold prediction in regards to what is about to happen to Diddy.
Gene Deal explained that Diddy is about to be arrested. Gene Deal explained how one of his friends were brought in by Homeland Security as a witness against Diddy. The witness was at a studio with Diddy and this female who alleges that Diddy SA'd her and drugged her. And this witness alleged to seeing Diddy drug this victim and then take advantage of her. Gene Deal explained that the witness testimony matched exactly to the woman that is fighting against Diddy in a court of law. And Gene Deal said that this witness told him that Diddy would be arrested before Labor Day. The witness told Gene Deal that his statement matched the woman's statement that she gave to her lawyers exactly, recounting what happened that night. Gene Deal explains how he knows that Diddy's arrest really is looming because you have all of these witnesses being brought forward to testify against Diddy, and they're matching these victims' statements to a T. So I'm going to go ahead and roll you guys this clip of everything that Gene Deal had to say about Diddy's arrest coming soon, and you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
One of my friends who was actually in the studio with him said that Homeland Security brought him in. He was in the studio the night one of the girls made a complaint, the night something happened to one of the girls. And he told the lawyer everything that the girl told him, which was crazy. And Homeland Security brought him in. They wouldn't let him know what they were doing, but it seemed like that something might happen before Labor Day. They working hard on this, bruh.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the girl saying to the lawyers?
He gave him a bottle of champagne or wine or whatever like that. And once she drank it, she became a certain way and found herself giving him a in the studio in front of people. The engineer told Homeland Security and her lawyer the same exact thing she told them. He said he was appalled at what he saw and walked out. So they got witnesses. They got witnesses, bruh. They got people who was there that was witness and speaking about it.
All right, so you guys heard what Gene Deal said. Now, I'm hearing different. I'm hearing that there's some things that's connected to Obama, and that's the reason why Diddy hasn't been locked up in the first place. Now, I've said this several times, and I know a lot of people get upset when I say this. I want you guys to put your affinity and affection that you have for Obama and Michelle to the side right now. I want you to know that these individuals are not who you think they are. And it also ties into the relationship that Michelle and Obama have with Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm telling you guys, I got information, but I've been told to stand down and to not put that information out just yet. But I'm telling you, this is some very serious stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you all to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that we discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Peace.